Today we are going to explain about the history of periodic table. Before that, you know who is the father of periodic table? It is Dmitri Mendeleev. What about father of modern periodic table? It is Henry Moseley. The beginning of periodic table starts with Johann Dobereiner. In 1817, Dobereiner found elements with similar properties and put them into groups of 3, called triads. This idea occurred when he discovered that strontium had an atomic weight halfway between that of calcium and barium. The merits of this model is: he introduced the concept of elements in terms of groups of elements with similar properties. This led to rigorous classification of elements. But the demerit is, Dobereiner identified only 3 triads from the elements known at that time. In 1864, John Newlands noticed that elemental properties repeated every 8th element when elements were listed by relative atomic mass. His groups of 8 are known as octaves. He constructed his periodic table, but to keep the octave pattern, he would sometimes have to put 2 elements in the same box. The merits of this theory is: this is a basis for the classification of an element having similar properties into groups of elements. The law provided a broad scope to order all known elements into a tabular form. It links the elements' properties to their atomic masses. This law was more suitable for the lighter elements. For example, lithium, sodium, and potassium. The demerits are: he could not able to arrange all 56 elements based on his law. Every 8th element did not show properties similar to the first. He could not able to discover many elements. To adjust the existing element ordering, Newlands placed 2 elements in the same position, which differed in their chemical and physical properties. For example, iron is an element that resembles cobalt and nickel in its properties. Iron, however, is placed far away from these elements. He did not include noble gases because they were not discovered then. Mendeleev took 63 elements and arranged them by their relative atomic masses and chemical and physical properties. He left gaps for undiscovered elements and predicted their properties. The element germanium was later discovered and it matched his predictions. The merits of this study are: study of the properties of elements become easier because they were classified in groups to their similar properties. He predicted the properties of undiscovered elements. It led to the discovery of new elements as some gaps were left in it. Sa, scandium, Ga, gallium, Gu, germanium, Tc, technetium. These were the elements for whom position and properties were well defined by Mendeleev even before their discoveries. The demerits are: position of hydrogen. Mendeleev could not decide where to place hydrogen because it has both the properties of alkali metals and halogens. Position of isotopes. There were no such places for isotopes in Mendeleev's periodic table. Anomalous pairs of elements. There were some pairs of elements which did not follow the increasing order of atomic weights. Chemically similar elements were placed in different groups, e.g., platinum and gold. Unlike elements were placed in same group. In 1913, Henry Moseley was very precise with his organization of elements. He used an electron gun to shoot at elements which gave off X-rays. He then ordered elements by their atomic number rather than relative atomic masses.